election is about the people of St. Martin coming together. It is about us being a team, working together for St. Martin.
Why is a new parliament building needed, and how do you defend the price and the opposition from the other political parties?
The government, the Democratic Party government, prepared St. Martin for country. We would not have been frantically having meetings until 3 o'clock in the morning, having meetings on Saturdays, having executive council meetings on Saturdays in order to pass legislation. Had they prepared us for becoming country, there would have been a building under construction for the Parliament of St. Martin. There would have been a building under construction for the Council of Advice. The high institutions of state would have had their buildings. Now, Parliament is the highest body in the country. There's no, it's like you have a country, you need a constitution, and by virtue of your constitution, you need a parliament. And a parliament needs office to function from. You cannot have your parliament, 2 of them in a building on Back Street, 2 of them in a building on Front Street, 3 of them on the Pondfield, another 2 of them maybe down in Simpson Bay. No. So we need a parliament building. You cannot, on short notice, find adequate office space to house the whole parliament. What we need a hall where parliament meets in public session, not once a month, not in public session, in session. You may have a public meeting every week or every other week, but for sure, Parliament itself as a lawmaking body will be meeting regularly. You can't have your Parliament convening in the cultural center on Back Street, or we are going to one of the hotels every week when we have to meet 2 or 3 times a week, keeping meetings there. That's one. When you have a meeting where the Council of Ministers and Parliament meet, if a minister needs to present a law, it has to be presented to the members of Parliament, to the senators in the Parliament building. You need sufficient space. When we are handling our budget, we need space for all the members and the Council of Ministers and the General Secretariat. Every parliamentarian is a full-time job. It is not part-time. So he needs, or she, office space. All the factions need faction offices for their support staff. Then the staff of Parliament, it will not be part of the organization of the government. The two are separated. The Parliament is separated from the executive branch of government. So those people also, you need faction offices. You need a meeting room, you need a library, you need kitchen space, you need public facilities for when people come there to see public meetings. You need a public tribune where people can see and listen to the meetings of Parliament because it's public. And you also need an area where the press can sit, record, and follow the meeting. Now, do we have a building in town that is adequate enough for that? So on short notice, you look and you find the Caribbean Palm building. What is the rent about? The rent, and you see, because it's thrown out there with a political connotation, and there are those who, let's say, beat up on it every day. We have buildings that government is paying $60,000 a month for. Okay? $60,000 a month. We are talking here about renting 4 floors and a loft of a building in the heart of Phillipsburg. The rent we are paying for the building per square meter is cheaper than what government is paying for some other buildings, or people are paying for buildings in the heart of town. So it is not expensive. What are we paying for? We are not paying for an empty building. We are paying for a fully equipped, furnished building with offices, fully equipped with furniture, and for the duration of the rental contract, The owner is responsible for ensuring that adequate furniture is in there, adequate sound system is in there, everything the owner is responsible for. Now, if you just take a price out and throw it out there without exchanging it for what you're getting for it, then somebody goes, say, my gosh, they're paying so much? Let's wind back time. And we say, okay, cancel it. Cancel. October 10th come. There is no Parliament building. There is no office for Parliament. Parliament cannot convene in this building. And if we decide we are going to fast forward and move the people in here over to the new building, we still need to remodel this building to fit Parliament. The Legislative Hall is too small to house 15 members of Parliament, 7 members of the Council of Ministers, the support staff, the Secretariat, etc. It's too small. So we need to invest here as well. But on top of that, this will not remain the permanent home of the Parliament. So this building will be demolished. So if we demolish this building and we have nothing to replace it with, where are we going? So the owner of that Caribbean Palm building needed to make investments, needed to, in a short period of time, provide government with a fully equipped Parliament building, and these things come with a price tag. You can't ask anyone to make use of their facility and it comes for free. Sometimes I wonder, besides it being, political campaign, if noise would have been made if somebody else had owned the building. Is it because it's a local person that owned the building that they're making so much noise over it? Yes, again I say, it sounds like a lot of money. But let me tell you, government is renting office space down by the Vlon building by the post office. They're renting a couple houses on Canagita Street. They're renting office space or by the Vineyard building. They're renting. You know how much government pay per year? 13 million guilders. 13 million guilders government is paying in rent per year. On top of that, because of the same Democratic Party not doing their homework correctly, because of arrangements that Michael Ferrier made when he was commissioner along with Roy Marlin, we are paying 3 million guilders a year for the new government building. There is no furniture in it. There's no IT in it. There is nothing in it as yet. And we are paying 3 million guilders now, going on 2 years, for a building that we have not been able to use yet. Now, the same people today who are criticizing the fact that government, because they did not make the necessary provisions, because if picture yourself, you have to go to Holland by Monday, and you made no arrangements to book a flight and to make reservations and purchase a ticket. KLM doesn't have a flight. Air France is fully booked. There's nothing else left to do. So what are you going to do? Go by Bobby, charter a plane to go to Holland. And then you're going to hear government paid $37,000 to go to Holland. But why did you do it? Because no proper arrangements were made. If proper arrangements were made, a Parliament building would have been under construction. And then it's a difference if you say, hey, boo, we got 3 more months to go, or we got 6 more weeks to go, or we have 6 more months to go. Then we will say, okay, for 6 months, we are going to bear with it. But there is no preparation that was made. There are no preparations that were made. Government can't come and tell you, these are the plans for the building. When I came in, we started drafting plans. Together with Cassandra, we had preliminary designs, and I was looking at the building to be projected right here close to the other building, partially like hanging over in the water between Telem and the present new government building that is going up. And when the plans were presented, and I was discussing with somebody, and I think it was Commissioner Franz Richardson, he said, well, boo, you know that that's where the ring road coming? And a few weeks after, lo and behold, sand was being dumped in the same area, making it impossible for those plans to continue. So what we are projecting it now, it will be built on this present location. Part would be parking garage, part would be the Parliament building, and with the solution that we've now found, we have up to 7 years that we can rent the building and make time, because people would say 7 years. We are not saying that we need 7 years to build a building, but when we look at the amount of years that it has taken to build that one, and we have already paid $6 million in rent, and we have not gotten 1 day of use of it. That is what the focus should be. And it's so interesting that it's not so much the public, because if the public gets an explanation, but what the public has been hearing, because of my busy schedule, I've not been out there, let's say, defending or explaining, because I explained it on the floor of the Island Council. But there are those who are hell-bent to make it look as if, oh boy, look at what this government is doing. And if we turn it around and we put in the newspaper every day that because of the Democratic Party, we are paying now 3 million guilders a year for building and not using it. On top of that, paying 13 million, and we're going to pay more because there are more departments, there are more institutions, there are more organizations that government is responsible for, and we don't have any housing for them as yet.
How would you rate your government performance over the last year?
I think the performance of the government was good. You have to put it in proper perspectives. Here you had an election in 2007. The Democratic Party won. They won the right to govern St. Martin for 4 years. Infighting, problems, Maricha resigning, problems with another commissioner, problems between the leader of the Democratic Party and Theo Heiliger, problems between Theo Heiliger and others. And we've always said, a house divided cannot rule. And lo and behold, it came crumbling down. We tried to support the Democratic Party, not for their government to remain in office, but for stability for St. Martin, because of the constitutional changes that we felt were very important. What did the Democratic Party leader say? It is not in the interest of her party to form a coalition. It is not in the interest of her party to form a government with us. The government fell. We came in government to rescue St. Martin. We came in government to ensure that the process does not stall. That is where the focus was. Did we get a job done? Yes. Hell yes. Hell yes. I am proud of what we have accomplished. On top of that, you get things like Commissioner Franz Richardson. What he has done in this 1 year that we were in government. Fly, yes, he flew a lot, but not for fun and recreation. He made some